All new today.
I want to have cleavage.
The Dr. Phil guests that left you talking are back. Their marriage was over before it even began.
Our sex life is not great.
Couldn't have gotten any worse.
I told the newlyweds they needed to fix their marriage or end it.
Now,
Do you want to be married to him?
plus, whatever happened to this hoarder?
His family called him the worst pack rat ever. Over 30 tons of junk. 30 tons! We're going to give you his update.
Also,
They were fighting over, are you ready for this? Mushrooms.
Don't they all grow in the God forest?
See how well my advice sunk in after they left this stage.
then,
Kathy was barely 60 pounds in desperate need of help. You're going to be dead in 6 weeks. Find out how she's doing.
and the mother that shocked the nation.
She knew something was terribly wrong. Not with her son, but with her.
I would see knives and I would think, well, what if I stabbed him?
You're like a missile without a guidance system. Coming up. Let's do it. I want you to get excited about your life.
Here we go.
Stand by, camera 6.
If you're going to talk to me, you're going to have to be honest.
Stand by, Dr. Phil.
Showtime. This is going to be a changing day in your life.
Stand by A and roll A. Check in. Go, Dr. Phil.
I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you. All right, today it's the moment of truth. We're going to find out how well my advice sticks when guests leave this stage. So we've knocked on the doors of some very memorable guests, some of you haven't seen in over a year. When Donnie and Miranda were on the show, they had been married less than 3 months, and the fights had gotten so bad that Donnie was already considering annulment.
The honeymoon ended the second that we got to Cancun, Mexico.
I question that you want to be married. You cried on your honeymoon.
Donnie hates the fact that I keep in touch with men that I have had sex with. He's checked my emails, my cell phone.
In July, you saw this email to an ex-boyfriend, and it said, quote, "You're always in my thoughts." When you were dating, you cheated on him, but you got in a fight and broke up and went to a motel with somebody else?
I was hoping that this other guy, that something would happen with him and I could get out of our relationship.
But you only went back to Donnie after this boyfriend said no.
Pretty much. He wants sex whenever he can get it.
She likes to get it over and done with, and I like to enjoy each other.
From the way I was raised, I knew that you weren't, supposed to be having sex before you were married.
Didn't you tell Donnie that you had had sex with 27 different partners before you got married? And didn't you tell our producers that it was actually 40?
The more I'm with her, the more I find out lies upon lies, and I don't understand why.
He makes it sound very easy to be open and honest with him, and it's not.
You've called him clingy, needy, annoying.
He tries too hard. Donnie and I are both ready to have a baby.
I told her that I wasn't ready.
I've dreamed of being a mother, and I think Donnie would be a great father.
Have you two ever met? You need some help to sort out your feelings. If I get you the help, will you take it?
Yes.
I plead with you, do not get pregnant. You've got to do one of two things. You've either got to fix it or you've got to end it. I told the newlyweds that they either needed to fix their marriage or end it. So let's see what happened. Donnie and Miranda's fighting.
I went on the show thinking we had nothing to lose. When we got off of the show, I was completely in shock.
On the show, I found out some things that I didn't know before.
It was actually 40 partners before you got married.
The number shocked me. Now that I look back at it, it was more upsetting that she didn't feel comfortable enough to tell me the truth.
Do not get pregnant.
We're not working on kids right now.
When we're Dr. Phil approved, then, we'll look at having a baby.
Dr. Phil gave us relationship rescue.
We did most of the assignments. Our relationship has gotten much better, but there are still some problems that we're currently working through. Communication is still not great. better, but not great. Our sex life is still far, far from perfect.
Couldn't have gotten any worse. I don't want to do this.
The biggest problem that we face are finances. We are looking to buy a house.
My credit's ruined. It's hard for us to get finance.
It will be years before we get a home. I would say the state of our marriage now is a work in progress.
Dr. Phil, you've helped Miranda and I clear up a lot of roadblocks in our relationship, but we could still use your help.
The question that I keep coming back to with you is, do you really want to be married, and why?
I do want to be married. Why? Then I start thinking of exactly what kind of answer you're looking for.
There's not a right or wrong answer. This is a choice. Do you want to be married? And if so, why? And to him, I mean, do you want to be married to Donnie?
I definitely want to be married to Donnie.
Why? There are financial problems. You say there are problems in compatibility sexually. There are just huge problems.
I guess I kind of look at the history that I'm aware of as if it's with my friends or family. None of them are perfect, and I know that ours is not perfect, but it's definitely well on its way. And I think there's a lot of hope for us, and I can say that full-heartedly now.
Mm-hmm. How about you?
Oh, there's totally a lot of hope for us. And about compatibility sexually and so forth, something that I've come to realize is the way I'm responding to her is causing her to not want to be with me because of the way that I'm acting. And so I need to look at the way that I'm responding to her, or I guess reacting to her, and work on that. And since then, it's been a lot better, in my opinion.
Uh-huh. True?
Yes.
You said it's far from perfect.
Well, it is. I mean, a perfect relationship, we are working on it. And I mean, we've come far from when we were here before.
Oh,
so,
yeah. I mean,
and we're still new in this relationship, and
yeah,
we look to the end. So,
have you sat down and said, I need to determine a vision of what I'm supposed to do to contribute rather than contaminate to this marriage?
I know that I have. Through our counseling and stuff, we've tried to be focused more on us together and what we can do.
That's okay, but I'm asking you, do you know? Because see, if you don't do that, I mean, if you're in relationships and you don't know what your role is supposed to be, what your job is supposed to be, then you're like a missile without a guidance system. You just launch off and it just starts going around. It's kind of like one day you think this, another day you think that, another day you think this. And I can tell you, I don't know that it's always right, and so I'm always adjusting it, but I have a very clear vision of what my job is as a father. I have a very clear vision about what my job is as a husband. I know what that is. And you don't have that clear in your mind, do you?
Not yet.
And you don't have it clear in your mind.
Oh, I do. I know exactly what my role is in this relationship and what I'm supposed to do.
I've always believed that, and I bet all of y'all agree with this, when you meet someone and you get into a committed relationship, you weren't born last night, so you have a history. You have a learning history. You have other relationships. You have legacies from your family. You have all of these different experiences in your life. And you bring these with you to the relationship. And if you have bad relationships, then that contaminates the relationship. If you have good experiences, then a good history, then that contributes to the relationship. If you have a bad history, but you deal with it, you resolve it, you heal the wounds, you don't have unfinished emotional business, then you can contribute to the relationship. But both of you came into this with contaminants, didn't you?
Yes.
So you came in a little bit like this.
But it's actually quite incredible. Since the last show, we're not like that. I mean, it's incredible. In my opinion, for me, I'm not hypersensitive as much as I used to be. I'm not checking her emails. I'm not going through all that. I'm not looking for things because I've developed, more trust in myself to be able to trust her. And that was the main key with me, is that I've had along, the contamination I brought with a lot of my trust issues.
Do you feel a difference from him?
Oh, yeah.
In the way he's engaging?
Sometimes I think, you fall in that bad habit, but he is fully aware of what he wants to achieve in the end.
What does it bring to mind when I say to you emotional integrity?
I don't know.
Because you don't say those words together a lot. Well, I was asking you, because you don't see those words together a lot. But emotional integrity really means that I am going to be honest about my emotions. So you two are making progress.
Yes.
You're going to continue working on this. We've made arrangements for you, and you're working as a couple with a therapist.
And the relationship rescue book that we have, that by far, you know, from the very beginning it's just a great book, because it really showed me, you know, relationship isn't about necessarily, you know, you and her right now. It's about being complete with myself and her being complete with herself, and then coming together and completing the relationship. And a lot of the times I thought that some of those places would have to be filled by her, and that's where I was corrected.
You know, relationships, everybody talks about, needs to be 50-50. You know, I say in the book, it's 100-100. Yeah. You don't wait for your partner. We're going to keep track of these guys. Coming up, this next couple from the Dr. Phil Roadshow was pretty unforgettable. They were newlyweds on the verge of divorce who almost quit and went home because they were fighting over, are you ready for this? Mushrooms. We'll be right back.
Coming up.
I don't know what assorted wild mushrooms are.
It means just a different collection. Don't they all grow in the god forest?
And later, what happened to this couple?
I would love to see Spencer on our bed in a thong with chocolate syrup all over his body.
Me wearing a thong, I'm not gonna even go there.